Hey everybody, SSA broadcast back live from Roberto Clemente High School on Chicago's north side. We have a treat for you here on a beautiful Saturday. We have the Chicago Public Schools semifinals, and we will be showing you the championship today and some continuous coverage. We've got Taft versus Kelly. Taft is the home team because they're the higher seed. And that was the leadoff man for Kelly, Fabian James, the shortstop, who just popped out for the first out of the game. So this is an all-AstroTurf field. Very nice here. We're over by Western and Division. And just a glorious day. Beautiful weather here. Perfect for softball. So here's the second place hitter, Louis Machinist, the pitcher. So we're underway here. They've been playing all week to get to the Final Four teams. Of course, this is Kelly versus Taft. Live stream sponsored, of course, as always, by Napleton Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram at River Oaks. And we are live here. So here comes Alex Espita with 2 outs now, as Kelly trying to get untracked here. Interesting to note, Kelly's only got 10 players here today. Taft got a few more bodies than that, as they've got a lot of bodies sitting on the bench. So 2 outs here, top of the first, just underway. And there's a ball hit down the line. That's going to be at least a double. Goes to the fence. He'll just throw it into third. So a 2-out double for Kelly. And again, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but very short porch and right down the line. And then the fence starts to veer out. And when you get toward center and right field, just a massive amount of space. Left field a little more cramped. So here's the cleanup hitter now, Jason Ramos, after the 2-out double by Espita. So it's always fun to show the young, truly young kids. I know we show the B stuff all the time on SSA, and we always like to get going with the high school kids whenever we can. And these games move pretty quick. They do play 1-on-1 count. No gloves here. And there's a high pop-up. Left fielder got a beat on it, and he makes the catch. So at the end of a half an inning, we got no score, and we're going to bring in our guy George Bliss here, who got out early and did some of the prep work.
Thank you, Gio. Again, the best broadcaster in softball today, my cousin Gio Fernazzo. Slow Pitch Softball Association, folks. Thank you for tuning in to our Facebook page. You see the beautiful near west side of Chicago, Clemente High School, named after the famous ball player from Pittsburgh, Roberto Clemente. And this field is absolutely incredible. And everybody at the city of Chicago watching, thank you very much. Mayor Lightfoot, and good luck to both coaches. And I'll be in between the innings to let you know what's happening here. The next game, of course, will be the Peyton game against Ag Science. So we'll see you then.
Okay, so we get ready here for the bottom of the first. No score. Kelly did have a 2-out double, but couldn't do anything with it. So this is how Taft is going to go. Dan Schaefer in center field leading off. Kyle Cozy, the short center. Mark Spillat, the third baseman. Luke Lang, the first baseman. Hayes Rennell, the second baseman. Logan Mulhels, the right fielder. Joe Rodriguez, the left fielder. Nick Smith, the shortstop. Nate Schultz catching. There's a ground ball to third. A little bobble there. So the leadoff man is on. And hitting 10th, Pete Deedy, the pitcher. So leadoff man on, courtesy of a bobble by the Kelly third baseman. And it brings up Kyle Cozy, the short center. So it's always interesting when we show these high school kids. Part of what you'll notice is they're not quite as filled out physically as some of the major and high A-level stuff. And there's a little spinner, and he's going to try to make the throw. No double play. And that's going to bring up Mark Siplot, the third baseman for the Taft team. So they're not as filled out physically as we see with, that's going to be a little heavy, as some of the softball we show you. It is no glove, as you can see, which is always a good thing to get kids involved in. And there's a little flare. That's trouble. That's going to drop for a single. So he kind of reached, kind of mishit it, but the big fella just threw it down the left field line. And first and second one out here. And this all started with the leadoff man on the bobble. And here comes the cleanup hitter, Luke Lang. So Taft trying to grab the first lead of the game, and there's a high pop-up. Right fielder, long run. First run of the ball game, and now the runners are going to be at second and third as he had a little trouble bringing it in. Everybody had to wait to see if that ball was going to be caught. It was bobbled and dropped, but a run does score. So here comes Hayes Rennell, and he takes it. So 1-0. Taft has jumped ahead here on an unearned run. And there's a line drive right at the left fielder. He can't make the catch. One run's going to score. And now there's a high throw that gets away. And the hitter, Rennell, scampers into second. 2-0 Taft. Second and third, one out. So 3 errors here in the bottom of the first by Kelly, really hurting him. And there's a swing and a fly ball, and that ball's going to be caught. Another run's going to score. 3-0. So again, a little sloppy on defense here for this Kelly team. And that's led to these 3 unearned runs. So that's going to bring up Joe Rodriguez, the 7th hitter to swing in this inning. And there's a little tapper to third. Picks it up, throw across. No bag there, safe. So first and third here, 2 outs. Lost track, George. Did another run score on that play or no?
No.
So still 3-0.
Correct.
Nick Smith is up. So Kelly here not playing a very sharp defensive game. High fly ball to center, and that'll be the 3rd out. So in the inning, 3 runs at the end of 1. Taft 3, Kelly 0. So we'll make sure that that's the correct score. They do not have, they actually have a scoreboard, but they're not using it today. So 3 runs, we've confirmed the score as Taft did a good job of taking advantage of some errors and some mistakes, and looked like the Kelly kids might have been a little nervous on defense, George.
They are. I just want to mention that Kelly High School was probably the original high school that started this. The most famous player of all time attended there, Mike Tallow, and that's where the original softball big-time league started with Eddie Zollner. If you remember, on Southwest Side, your neighborhood, Kelly High School. So they're here representing the classic high school of all time.
So coming up here for Kelly, you might have heard the Taft coach in the background saying 5, 6, 7 coming up. So this is Wyatt Qualls, the first baseman. And he swings it to ground ball, gets through the pitcher, and it's going to roll into the outfield. So the leadoff man, Qualls, is on. That'll bring up Manny Vega, the center fielder. He'll be followed by Fabian Cervantes, Vic Villapando, Jose Talanchi, and Eric Rios. Sorry about that, folks. They got some difficult names here. So leadoff man on. Little ground ball. It squirted through the pitcher and rolled into the outfield. And again, there's a little pop-up. Short center goes back. Shortstop called him off. ball drops, and they get to force at second. So tough play there for the base runner, Wyatt Qualls. As that ball was a little pop-up, it looked like it was going to be an easy play. Hit the carpet. Good job by the second baseman to get over there because the shortstop and short center were out in the outfield on that. So tough play if you're a base runner. Not much you can do about it. And that'll bring up Fabian Cervantes, the second baseman. 1 on, 1 out.
Nick, to your right, just a step.
And that pitch is outside. Again, a 1-1 count. When you're up 3-0, you really don't want to give the other guy a base runner or two. You really want them all to swing to get on. And that's deep. Ball 4. So first and second here with 1 out is Kelly trying to claw back into the game after falling behind 3-0.
Hey, touch your base.
And here's Vic Villapando, the short center.
Keep 'em honest.
Again, the outfields tend to play a little bit tighter than we see when we get to the older guys. A lot of these kids, like we said, haven't filled out. They don't really drive the ball as much. Ground ball to short. The relay is going to be a little high and tall, and that's going to allow the first run for Kelly to score. So 3-1 ball game. 2 outs, runner on first. And here comes Jose Talenci.
Talenci.
So I don't know if that's Hispanic or Italian. But here we go.
Either way, it means softball, Gio.
So there's a pitch outside.
Short now. Let's go.
So
Little muscle on it.
that ball was hit kind of slow to try to get a double play. Here's another slowly hit ball. Third baseman on the run. Nice play to end the inning. But in the inning, Kelly scratches and they score their first run of the game.
Beautiful weather out here today, 70 degrees. We weren't worried about the weather at all, Gio. SSA always brings the best weather. You're watching Slow Pitch Softball Association here. 16-inch no-glove softball from Chicago. Thanks for watching from out of town. We enjoy it. You've got Gio here and George Bliss. We're both 16-inch Hall of Fame. And Gio, back to you. It's been a great game so far.
Yeah, it's a couple of teams feeling each other out here early. Defense, both sides, been a little shaky at times, but these kids are young. Again, we are live. And sponsored by Napleton Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram at River Oaks. Let us entertain you restaurants. Tito's Handmade Vodka. Please drink responsibly. Gold Rush Gaming. Please gamble responsibly. The Beacon Tap and Iron Horse Security. And there's a little ground ball to third. The throw pulls him off the bag again. So again, the third baseman had plenty of time there. Kind of threw across his body and pulled the first baseman off the bag. He had time to get squared away and to take a step, but never really got his feet together. So leadoff man is on. And there's a base hit down the line, and it gets through the left fielder. It's rolling around there, took a weird bounce, and that's going to be a triple. So the fourth run scores for Kelly, or Taft, excuse me, as they're hitting the ball pretty good. So that was Pate Dede with the triple, driving in Nick Schultz. And now we're back to the top of the order with Dan Schaefer, the center fielder. So we talked about the weird fence where in left field, about 15 feet off the line, it's basically, and there's a line drive base hit, and here comes another run. So 2 runs in this inning, 5-1 Taft. So that fence out there, it's pretty much straight across from the foul pole for about 15 feet, and then it angles sharply. And that triple got through the left fielder and hit right where it angled. And it rolled, and there's a little flare, and that's going to drop. So right now, everything going Taft's way is another ball just gets floated out into the outfield. That was Kyle Cozy Here's Matt Siplot, the third baseman. So Taft looking pretty good. Already got 5 on the board. And there's a line drive, and that's going to be a double play. So line drive right in the gut of the third baseman. And again, you always got to make sure that the ball goes through, kids. So when you see a line drive and you're a base runner, you got to freeze. The base runner at second took a big aggressive secondary lead, and when he did that, he was unable to get back. And there's a bullet up the middle. Base hit there.
Big country.
First and third. So Luke Lang, the first baseman, just pounded a hit up the middle.
They call him Big Country, Gio.
Big country. So here's Hayes Rennell. And he pops a ball to left. Left fielder got a late start, makes a nice catch for the third out of the inning. But in the inning, Taft pushes 2 more across. They extend the lead to 5-1. So we'd like to thank all of you for tuning in, and we'll see what George Bliss has to say.
You know, I mentioned Big Country, this kid at first base. I was having fun with him the other day. He's ready to play for one of the major teams. So I've been doing a little scouting. There's some really good ability here. Gio, you remember about 10 years ago, J. Robb and a shortstop on the 45s came out of the high school. Now they're the 2 best hitters on some of these teams. So somewhere in these 20 players here, Gio, are some future all-stars. And you'll be recruiting them, I think, maybe for one of your leagues. So it's been fun to watch them, hasn't it?
Yeah, it always is. And I think George was referencing the Roadrunner team, which started out as underage. There were a lot of good players. Quite a few of them were the core guys on that Roadrunner team that had some pretty good success at the major level. And it's always interesting to see which of the kids are going to. And there's a high pop-up by the leadoff man, second baseman, Fabian Cervantes. No, I don't think that's Eric Rios. And here we're at the top of the order with Fabian James. So it's always interesting to see the kids and to see who's going to stick with it and progress. And there's a ball hit out to the right fielder for 2 outs. So he hit it good. He just no location on it. Hit it right at the right fielder. And that's Alex Espida.
Right fielder for Taft.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Taft is in the field.
Hey, 2 outs. Let's get out of here and go ahead.
So here comes Machinus, Louis Machinus, the pitcher. Again, it's a 5-1 game. Lewis has actually not pitched that bad of a ball game. His defense has kind of let him down just a little bit. And he swings and he hits a fly ball, and the right fielder is going to make that play as well. So 1, 2, 3 goes Kelly in the top of the third, and we're going to head to the bottom of the third in a 5-1 ball game.
Kelly very stable there on defense. Coach Kirk Vitas, who's been at Taft for, I think, 2 decades. Also played pro basketball in Europe, Gio, believe it or not. He is a very stickler on defense, so he's been working with the guys. Taft has got some extra guys on the bench if they get way ahead. You will see some subs here quickly and see what happens. Beautiful neighborhood out here, the west side of Chicago. Let's go back to GOV now for play-by-play live from Chicago.
So here we go. We're going to get to the bottom of the third inning. And coming up here is going to be Logan Mulheis, the right fielder. Had a couple of catches there in the top half of this inning. So again, another beautiful day, even with COVID and all the craziness that was going on, and hit that ball hard, and it gets over the right fielder's head. So the left fielder came charging in. That ball's going to roll to the fence. Lead off solo homer for Logan Mulheis. 6-1 now as Taft is pulling out. Looked like he hit down on that ball, had a little underspin. Left fielder thought it was going to hump. It stayed up in the air. And then it got down by that fence with that weird angle, and no chance. So here comes Joe Rodriguez, the left fielder, and this a pretty big kid. And he swings and he crushes a humpback base hit. So right now Taft is just free swinging it. They lead 6-1 here in the bottom of the third. Took advantage of some mixed Kelly miscues. And there's a high fly ball. Right fielder for Kelly makes the play for the first out of the inning. Well, Manny, those batter's boxes are really designed for like girls 12-inch, because this is a true softball diamond here at Kelly. So those are really not 16-inch batter's boxes. And here in Chicago, where we walk up on the ball, there's a pickoff. Of course, you can't run. So as a result of that, you shouldn't put any stock in the batter's box. Well, most of the stuff that's being run by the SSA, if you go to SSA.com manual, and there's a little fly ball, and that's going to drop. So first and second one out. So if you go to our website, SSAsoftball.com, and you go to the Forms tab, you can look at our 2020 rule book to give you an idea of what the normal rules are. Now, every league or, CPS, they may have their own set of rules that are specific for what they feel is appropriate for high school level kids. There's a pop-up short center going to make that play for the second out. So first and second here, run in courtesy of the solo homer as Manny Vega pops up, or excuse me.
Let me get it for you.
And there's a swing and a ground ball, and it gets through the shortstop. And that's going to score the seventh run. Throw to third. He's going to make it, and the base runner will scoot up. So it looked like the shortstop was going to try to make the play and just pitch it to third for the force. But it looked like he looked up at the third baseman before he caught the ball. So that was Schaefer who got the hit. And here's Kyle Cozy. Ground ball to second, little bobble, and he's not going to get him. Another run scores. So Taft right now taking advantage of every single little bobble that this Kelly team is making. And then, that's what good teams do, especially in 16-inch, which is really a game of give and take. And there's a ground ball, and that's going to be a base hit. Another run scores. So everything dropping in and working here for this Taft team. And here comes the big first baseman, Luke Lang. And there's a little crisp line drive into center. Another run's going to score, a little bobble. Runner's going to go to third, first and third now. 2 outs. And here comes Hayes Rennell, the second baseman. And he swings, ground ball, and they'll go to short way for the third out. We'll check and we'll see how many they got. So George is going to go over there and talk with Coach Vitas, and he's going to get the score. 5 runs there for Taft. So Taft really pushing out now as they lead this ball game 10-1. Big 5 spot. So you see Taft. Taft is notorious for traveling well. And you can see some of their fans out here.
Geo, Taft was the home of Al McFarland in 1960, who was the all-city football star. Al McFarland, the great friend of all of us that started Splinter's team. So Taft had some great softball legacies as well, Geo.
There's George Bliss. him and Rich Hennessy and Mickey Balestri might be the three living encyclopedias when it comes to 16-inch softball and useless trivia. And there's the man himself, Eddie Curry, walking around. So COVID and all, Eddie, you're getting them in.
We're trying our best to get them in today. This is real special for the program because of what we've been going through for COVID this whole year. And with the help of everybody, we're getting it through. We got a beautiful day, and look like we're going to get all 3 games in with no problem. We got 2 repeating semifinal teams in the tournament, and we got 2 brand new teams, which is Kelly and Chicago Academy. So this year's been a really exciting year. I have a plan that I'm working on for this year, and with the help of a few friends of mine, we might be able to make this a state program. So we're going to fight real hard, get a decent letter out to the state, and fight our case, and hopefully that we'll get everything through in reference to making this a state program.
There you go, folks. Eddie Curry always does a great job, and we'll be talking to Eddie a little bit more as we progress, and when they get to the end of the day and we hand out the hardware, we'll show it all to you. Thanks, Eddie. So sorry we didn't announce that half inning, but Kelly went down 1-2-3. We did show you the gameplay there. Of course, Eddie Curry works his tail off, and he's been fighting to keep 16-inch softball alive in the Chicago Public Schools, and he's just does a great job. And you know, in this time. So Dominic Jacoby is apparently going to come in to the ball game at some point, probably in this inning. And leading off here is going to be Hayes Rennell, I believe. So Taft playing a very good ball game, taking advantage of mistakes. Yeah, Manny, this is what we call Chicago-style 16-inch softball because we don't wear gloves. And 99% of what we do out here is no glove. We do have Class A Glove National Championship tournament that the SSA runs along with a no glove A. And, of course, on Labor Day, our major national championship tournament. So, I'm sorry, that was Logan Mulheis leading off. He flied off. So here's Joe Rodriguez. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And so as a result, of course, the no glove major national championship is really the Forest Park no glove national championship tournament. So we do have softball any way you want to play it, glove or no glove. And we do get a big following out of the state of Iowa. And we actually had, and there's a ball hit down the line, that's going to be fair. And that hit that crazy fence, and it bounces back toward the alley. This might be a home run, and they're going to send them. So again, another ball. So Nick Smith hits the home run. So he hit a little line drive there. It got to the fence, deflected toward left center field, and it was all over. And for the 2 teams that are waiting to play next, you got to take a look at that fence and have an understanding. And there's a bobble and safe. So here comes Jacoby, as Nick Smith, I believe, got that hit. And here comes Jacoby, his first at-bat. So, yeah, we play. It's a 16-inch clincher softball. There's a little ground ball, and that sneaks through for Jacoby. Runner on first, going to motor into third. So another rally here by Taft. And I'm not sure if they play the mercy rule or not here in CPS. Normally it's 10 runs after 5, and we'll see if they're playing that rule or not today. Next ball game scheduled for 12 o'clock. And again, we told you these games do move quick. And there's a bullet. Shortstop got a hand on it. But the 11th run does score, or the 12th run. So it's now 12-1. Taft. So it's a fun game, Manuel. Most people that play it really like it, and he might have hurt himself. It looked like the shortstop on that line drive reached out with one hand and tried to knock it down. He might have caught that on the wrist instead of the hand. And again, this ball isn't as hard as a 12-inch, but it'll still do some big damage. This George Bliss hands me a little glass of water. So this is a fun game. The ball does maintain its consistency. And there's another ground ball. The 13th run is going to score. And now there's a bobble on the throw-in, and the 14th run will score. And Taft has just blown this open. And here comes the third-place hitter, Mark Siplot.
The tank. They call him the tank.
So Taft right now is just free swinging. And there's a high fly ball way back, and it'll get over the short porch, but way foul.
One foul.
So that ball was about 8 or 9 feet foul. Again, you got a real short porch. I'm half tempted, George, to grab a bat and try that. My guess is it looks pretty short. That may be about 220, maybe. It's almost like dome dimensions. It might be 210. So, can see down at the other end, we got a team warming up on the far end of this field.
Frank Lentine just joined us. Gio, he's in the crowd, one of the classic players in our game and another historian.
Yeah, Frank's been around a long time, still playing senior softball. Probably won more championships and more divisions and in more softball size than probably any man on the planet.
I think that's true.
So it's always interesting when you see the high school stuff and who gravitates. I know a few years ago when we were live streaming a preseason CPS tournament, there were quite a few people up by Mather Park that showed up that were former CPS students who had played. And it's always nice when they show up and they support the younger kids. And there's a high pop-up down the line. That's got a chance. And the left fielder can't make the catch. Fair ball. 15th run scores. As he tried, and now that they overshoot any type of relay. And now the ball gets away and he's going to come home. 16th run. So if you're scoring at home, you would call that a triple and an error, as he slid into third and the relay got away. And so the umpire's trying to get a handle on the score. Of course, we're in the top of the fifth, which means if they are playing a mercy rule here, that Taft, of course, would get an opportunity to hit in the bottom of the fifth. And here comes Luke Lang, the big first baseman, and he's already got a few hits in the ball game. And now he hits it to third. Little bobble throw. This time can't be caught by the first baseman. So again, that's an example of third baseman this time got himself squared away, threw a good strike. First baseman got out on that front foot a little bit early and just couldn't hold on.
Lead off.
So here we go. This is Hayes Rennell. Nope, take that back. This is Logan Mulheis. And he walks. So you can tell Kelly a little discouraged at this point. You can tell their body language and and that's a tough thing, but they've had a great year. They've made it to the semifinals. 16 teams started out in this single elimination run to the championship game. And there's a high pop up and catch is made. So, if I'm not mistaken, it's 15 or 16 to 1. We'll confirm that. George Bliss heading over, and we'll see if they are playing the run rule. Kelly's got a lot of work to do.
Strand, go catch. Come on. Go, get in there.
I think they got
Nick, Corrales, go to second base. Go, Nick, come on.
15 to 1, so another 5 spot. So Taft, back-to-back 5 spots. They lead by 14, and I believe Kelly's going to need 5 runs in order to extend the ball
I
game.
just talked to the wonderful umpire. Explained the run rule. It's 10 runs. They are going to need 5 to stay in this game. So if they don't, it'll be over here in the 5th inning. And Taft has really laid it on. But Gio, you played years. You know that lots of times there'll be a 10 spot now. Kelly can come out hot, and it's no glove. Anything can happen. So let's give Kelly a little luck and see what goes on and keep this game extended.
So here comes the leadoff man here for Kelly, and he hits a high pop-up. So Manny Vega pops out. Jacoby on the hill. He hit last inning and got a base hit. Now he's finishing up the ball game. And of course, the Coach Vitas for Taft has swapped out a lot of guys, and sometimes that's as a manager, that's what you want to do. You want to get them in there and just let them play an inning or two, just so that any nerves they might have can be taken care of before you roll into a championship game. So Taft has looked good. They've been one of there's a little flare, but the center fielder, 2 outs. So Taft has been one of the better programs the last couple of years. They were in the championship game last year. And so they've been through this, and they do have a lot of the same familiar players that we did see on their ball club last year out here. So they look pretty good right now. And of course, we'll get a look at I believe it's Painting and Ag Sciences. Is that right, George?
Chicago Academy. Peyton and Chicago Academy.
So, and there's a walk. So with 2 outs, a base runner. Again, if you're Kelly, you really need to string some hits together. Yeah, Manuel, it's not a mush ball. That 14-inch mush ball, you can pretty much squeeze like a sponge. This ball, much, much firmer than that. It's not even close. So that's the 3rd out of the inning. So Taft came out and did what they had to do. They'll be playing for the championship in about 2 hours, hour and a half. Next game isn't scheduled to start till noon. So the championship game is scheduled to start sometime around 1. So they get a little break here. But they played very well. And we'll get some final thoughts from George Bliss, and then we're going to click off. We'll start a new stream for the next ball game starting in about 20 minutes or so.
Gio, thank you. And everybody that loves 16-inch softball, we want to thank Kelly, the Classic High School from the southwest side. Taft High School is still going to go. We're waiting out in center field. Peyton High School, named after Walter Peyton, for all you folks from out of town, it's going to go against Chicago Agricultural, so that's going to be a great game. We'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Gio, send it back to the studio.
Okay, folks, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and we hope you tune in. We still got a couple of ball games to go. So for the SSA broadcast, George Bliss, I'm Gio, and on behalf of our sponsor of the live stream, Napleton Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram at River Oaks, We want to wish you all a good day, and hopefully you'll be tuning in. So we'll see you soon, live from Roberto Clemente High School.